Walk into any major tech firm right now, and you will notice something quiet happening. Companies are slowing down their hiring, and in many cases, freezing it entirely. This marks a permanent shift in how organizations prioritize human labor. A team of 5 people, utilizing autonomous AI systems, can now execute the daily workload of 15. Executives are looking at their spreadsheets and realizing they can scale their output without filling those empty seats. Typing a clever paragraph into ChatGPT is no longer a competitive advantage. If a skill can be learned in 10 minutes, it can be replicated by every competitor in the market. The era where basic prompting provided an edge is over. This chart shows the projected trajectory of intelligence over the next few years. If we constantly accept an AI's average first draft as our final product, our own ability to think critically begins to decline. By 2030, the average AI tool's capability crosses the human line, not because the machines achieved superintelligence, but because human output hit a ceiling of complacency. To maintain economic value, you have to move beyond the chat box. You must stop providing the inputs and start building the architecture that manages the entire workflow. A standard AI tool is a restricted system. It sits inside a chat window, waiting for your exact instructions, and it cannot move to the next step until you feed it another prompt. An AI agent functions by accepting an overarching goal rather than a series of micro-instructions. You provide the objective and the context, and the system determines the necessary steps to reach the finish line. Once that goal is set, the agent breaks out of the chat interface. It can independently navigate a web browser to scrape data, populate a spreadsheet with its findings, and draft emails to your clients within a secure virtual environment. By managing its own transitions between different software applications, the system functions as an autonomous digital employee that executes entire projects in the background. Building an autonomous system requires 3 foundational pillars. Identifying these components allows you to see exactly where human expertise is still required to maintain control. The first pillar is the brain. This is the large language model, or LLM. A large language model is a computational model trained on massive amounts of text to predict and generate human-like language, and for an agent, it acts strictly as the reasoning engine. The second pillar is the memory, provided through SOPs, or standard operating procedures. SOPs are written, step-by-step instructions that define how a specific task must be completed to meet a company's standards. These procedures are critical because real-world business is rarely predictable. When the agent hits a roadblock, like a missing data field or a misspelled entry, the SOP memory provides the logic to reroute the data and continue working without human intervention. The final pillar is the tools. These are software connectors that link the LLM to external applications, like your email, calendar, or database, giving the agent the hands required to affect the real world. If a system lacks these custom procedures and external connections, you are simply using a chatbot with a different interface. We can see this in action by looking at the workflow of an entrepreneur organizing a padel tennis tournament. To make the event profitable, they need to secure dozens of high-paying brand sponsors. Instead of hiring a team to manually search through LinkedIn, they deploy an AI agent with a single instruction: identify and contact 38 suitable consumer brands. The agent immediately initiates 38 parallel workflows. It categorizes sponsorship tiers, identifies the specific point of contact at each firm, and simultaneously generates a customized pitch for every target on the list. This process eliminates the first-mile problem. It filters through the massive volume of public information to find the exact data signals the creator needs to start a conversation. Labor that previously occupied an entire sales team for weeks is compressed into minutes by a single autonomous workflow. However, the agent reaches a hard limit at the point of execution. It can organize the data and draft the pitch, but it cannot navigate the nuances of a final human connection. An AI cannot jump on a phone call. It cannot build genuine emotional rapport or close a complex deal that relies on personal trust. Because AI can now reverse engineer software structures and generate complex code in seconds, having a unique digital product is no longer a sustainable defense. When a competitor can replicate your entire platform's functionality overnight, the software itself stops being a competitive moat. In a market where digital products are effectively infinite and free to produce, Human distribution and genuine trust are the only scarce assets that retain their value. You do not need to abandon your current industry to start a generic AI agency just to follow a trend. Your strategy should be the opposite. Stay in your field and begin aggressively documenting your expertise. Translate your daily successes into strict written SOPs that define exactly how you solve problems. By documenting these processes, you can deploy agents to handle the deterministic, repetitive tasks. This frees your time to focus entirely on the high-level strategy and trust building that machines cannot replicate. You must stop acting like a passive prompter and step up as the orchestrator. You must shape the AI workflow before it shapes your replacement.